Right. Okay. Alright. I guess what I have to do is go back into Google after I hit the other button. So let's see. Am I live? I am live. Welcome back, guys. I am live now. Sorry, jumping around there. It's kind of weird. Because when my son's done streaming, we used to record, and then we would upload the video after doing some tweaking or whatnot. He finally said, "Yeah, why don't I just try streaming?" Okay. So we set it up where the main computer doing the gaming was playing, and I've got an older all-in-one that I hooked up to do the actual streaming, and it works pretty consistently. For some reason, just hitting go live on this on the main PC with the same version of Streamlabs OBS updated, same settings except for better hardware on this computer versus the old computer. When I hit go live, it says it's going live, but I have to go into YouTube to start it up. So I'm not sure if that's how that's supposed to work. Knowing me, I've probably got the wrong setting in. Anyway, what I was going over was some files from back when I started Blender. I'm not going back that far, but once I kind of started getting comfortable with the program, I had modeled in CAD before, long time ago in college, and I wanted to give Blender a shot, try and get back into being creative. So I came up with a few different things, and this I was showing earlier when I thought I was streaming, but I wasn't streaming. This is a ship that I came up with. I keep hitting the mic. After I finally got comfortable with Blender, I'm still getting comfortable with Blender. It is a lot to take in as a piece of software. It's a lot to it. Anyway, this is a ship that I came up with, just kind of piecing some things together from models that I found online, just simple ones that people had put up, just so I can look at it and study it and try and figure out what they did. And this is a little ship that I came up with. Basically, it's my Star Trek junkyard ship. Basically, thinking along the lines that some pirates went in and salvaged a whole bunch of parts, and voila. It looks funky. Kinda, I thought it was creative at the time, but that's that. I want, because I've only been doing Blender a little over a year. I think Liam started doing uploading to YouTube about a year ago, maybe a little longer. And once I got the computer so that we could do what he wanted to do, I threw a couple of pieces of software on there for myself just to play around with and refamiliarize myself with some of them and try some new things, and fell in love with Blender. So this was one of the first ones. I'll show you the ship I'm probably most proud of, which was one that was, I believe, on there when the stream started. is this right here. Not all the texture files are still in the same spot. I relocated some things, so I can't remember if there was a plan. Yep, there it is. And my thought process behind this one was basically remembering back to watching the original series on reruns on TV, and I remember the Romulan episode on the neutral zone. Horrible with names. Eric, if you ever watched this, I know you can recall it off the top of your head. You know who I'm talking to. Anyway, this was inspired by that kind of, I think back then it was more of a kind of a gray, white kind of ship with this orange bird of prey painted on it. And this was my take on a Romulan warbird. For I want to say maybe even like the Discovery era with the really long nacelles. This is supposed to be a very large ship. Ever since I saw that Discovery and the ships they came up with, the Klingons, I knew during the time period they probably would never have the Romulans show up. But this was my imagination on how I would think if going along that whole line of the new ships that you saw in Star Trek Discovery. So I'm really proud of this ship. It still is needs a lot of work. I'm probably gonna go in one day and completely redo this. So hard surface modeling is something I am still grasping, and you can see it is all still very straight lines and angles. I don't even think I have any subsurf modifiers on here. If I do, it would be completely. I got bevel and solidify. Solidify might be for. I honestly don't know. The bevel is turned off. So I turn the bevel on. Does it look any better? It softens a few things, I think. I saw it right down there. So if I hit it again, it puts a little bevel on there. I bet you the problem is a lot of this, because I did not know about all of this, is that might have messed something up, but I'm going to save it anyway, because there seems to be a lot of vertices or some kind of artifacts floating around there. Anyway, back on track. Got the same ship, but with another smaller ship that I designed, based off a drawing I found online. It was only from top-down view. There was no other drawings of it. If whoever drew it sees it, hopefully I did what you thought justice. But here it is. It was, yeah. If it loads up. There we go. Yet again, same ship. This was a nebula shader that I found. Blend swap? I think. It's a cool idea, the guy who came up with it, but there is so much stuff going on in here and these nodes. Whenever I try and pull it up, it lags like crazy. So I currently have it disconnected. I'm not exactly sure what kind of computer he was running that it was working on, but anyway, this is, if Evie kick it up. There we go. This would probably just be on a black background. So I don't have anything plugged into it right now. Let's add something real quick. Where am I at? Let's just add. That's not what I want. Where am I at? Background. Pop that in. Bring that down because that is way bright. Anyway, just so I don't have to go in and do too many things here. This going more with the traditional Romulan color scheme, but also keeping that coppery look. Yet again, in here you can really see, I don't know what modifiers I've got going on there that is causing that to look like that, but anyway, same ship, just a slightly different color scheme, different texturing. I think, can't remember. I had it at one point where these would actually emit I don't know what's going on right there, but can I get into, this is it from the side. It's supposed to be a fairly large ship. And this is not to scale on how I actually wanted to have it. This ship would be much smaller than this one. So I think originally I was trying to do some kind of hangar bays back here. This would be like for a larger ship, and these would be for smaller fighter launch bays. And this was the fighter, the one that I said I found the drawing online, and it was only a top-down view. So pretty much all they gave me was that. So yet again, keeping with that kind of coppery look. You can see my meshes are overlapping a little bit here. Not sure. None of this is going to show. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but none of my textures want to show up. Anyway, I was trying to design a cockpit. I did actually have some seats in there, but there are a lot of areas that could use some improvement. Yet again, trying to do some hard surface modeling with curves, and you can see how bad my topology is. I know what I'm doing now. I'm getting better, but I know what to look for now when I start seeing this, and have a semi grasp on how to clean it up. But where I'm somewhat at now is this is a fun little one project that I've been playing around with. And this is a little cybernetic eye. So let's go to that view. I've got it rigged, and I probably don't have this rigged a proper way, but it worked for me. So let's see if we can get, and this is actually an LCD texture that I found on Blend Swap. Again, gone in and tweaked it a little bit and tried studying it to see what exactly the guy who came up with it is doing. And there's quite a bit of things going on there, but these, I'm gonna go in and play around with some of these things. But this is the eye, and I tried doing something. I don't know if I rigged this correctly, but there are a few other little details on here that I put on, and I can't remember if I rigged those together with the rest, but you will see. If I click on my empty, let me get out of edit and go to texture or object mode, and I go into rotate. It gets a little trippy with the camera trying to refresh, but I don't know if y'all can see that real well. I think there's 72 blades in there, and when I rotate, the fun part was trying to come up with a model of blades for kind of like an iris in a camera, for an aperture. And when you array objects around, they all lay up on top of each other, and the blades, the leaves inside of a camera aperture are pretty thin, but they stagger, one on top of the next, on top of the next, on top of the next, on top of the next. So when you get all the way back around, they stay in that pattern. When you do an array and then do an offset, it just kind of spirals like a staircase. So I sat there and I played and twisted a little angle until I got it to where if you look at it the right way, which is probably going to be very hard to do. If I can get one blade, because they all kind of twist and overlap the way I've got it, my origin point set and everything. So when you rotate that, they twist and turn so that they don't actually overlap on each other. And it was kind of a happy accident, but I don't know if you can see it, how they kind of twist and turn. But anyway, this I'm also very proud of. There's a lot more details that I want to get in and do. This is still actually a work in progress. Probably going to get rid of this gear texture here, or gear here, and these other little gears here. That, yeah, I did rig it up yet again the wrong way, but if you watch when I rotate, you might have already noticed it. When I rotate this, those gears twist too. I wanted them to stay in place and rotate, but I think they're too fine a detail for this. So what I'm actually gonna do is come up with some kind of like a circuitry box that's kind of going around in an array with not too crazy a detail, but that's that. Um, Trying to find people doing rigging of irises. They were using, I believe the term is shape keys, where they actually assign certain vertices to one location and then do another set on another location and transition between one and the other. And so those vertices move from one place to another. And that to me didn't really work with what I had in mind. So this I am kind of proud of. Also, don't know if there you might be able to see it a little better action here without all the reflection. Yeah, it's still going to be there, but maybe you can see what the iris blades are doing. Anyway, I just kind of applied a metallic texture. As you can see, when I made the blades, I didn't do too fine of a detail because I knew it wasn't going to be super up close, but then once I actually did it and put it together, I was like, that is a really cool detail that I think, I could focus in on. So there you can see those. Ooh. Anyway, that's one of the projects I've been working on. I want to do other little details in this as well. Not exactly sure how this one is going to turn out when I'm done. But what else am I working on? Ooh, I know. Been playing around trying to follow along with a tutorial. It's actually the tutorial set up for cycles, but I don't think my computer's powerful enough to keep up with exactly what that guy's doing, so kind of doing my own little twist on it, and I'm going to go back and restart it, but I want to create a bat tunnel. I want to have like some bats flying through and out, but can't remember if I still have. Yep, still got cycles on. Let's turn that off. Go back into Eevee and my unwrapping. I missed a step on before undoing or applying my array modifier, and I could go in and fix it. It's not that big a deal. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Oh yeah, it's connected there. Anyway, this is the main texture that I'm going for. Roughness, normals, and I don't think I really need to plug in the displacement because I don't think it's really going to work with Eevee, but it's just playing with multiple displacements and following along with a Bezier curve, which, if I come in here and let's see, can't remember if I have any of that selected. Grab, no, tab, Yeah, I still got the middle selected. So when I grab this, move it around, should twist and distort. Would look much better if I wasn't in render mode. Get back into camera view and you can see it in action. Oh yeah, I know this is lagging because I'm also streaming. Plus I've got that texture too. That's probably adding on to it. Plus the fact that I have already applied one subsurf at 4. I think it's at 4 render, and another 2 subsurf modifiers, which this one actually needs to go bye-bye. But anyway, that is another project. I bounce around from different thing to different thing when I find something interesting and a technique I haven't seen before or tried before. I love learning new things. It's something I try to live by, is, you know, at least try and learn one thing a day, even if it's a small little thing. Small little fact, a new definition, anything. Just something, you know, keep your brain going. And then there is, of course, the scene that y'all saw last night, which is more of a landscape type thing. But one thing that I am working on, if I can remember where I put it, I can't even remember what I named it. Give me a minute. No, that's not it. Where did I put that? It was a street, so did I name it street? I think this is it. And it was originally going to be a storm drain with steam coming out, and I've kind of still got that working, but this is what I came up with. This is actually using a let's see if I can. No. Still trying to get used to this new layout. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can just get into this. And I'm sorry if this is dark. I don't know if let me see if I go into, what do I have my color management set to? Film, very high contrast. Let's just put it at medium. See if that does anything. Yeah, just typed in Gotham Sand and just messing around. But it's a little street I modeled out. Didn't apply. Whoa, where are you going? You're all over the place. It's just HDR building I found on 3D modeling. It's I can't remember the website. But it's a royalty-free model. I found a couple. Found the truck. just wanted to play with lighting with a dark scene, and you know, sometimes you get those low shots with the lights hitting the wet ground, and that's kind of what I came up with. I know I'd like to fix this on the tire, but it's a mirror modifier, I think. Well, I think they had already, can't remember if they applied it or not. Anyway, it caused that to be backwards, but it's not a big deal. I could turn the truck around and I get a little, go back. That's the texture from the tire, and then I don't know if that's reflection from that or what, but I was playing around with just trying to add some raindrops. I don't know if I did it well. I know on some of these, with them being vertical, I should probably do more of the drip style, like our did on the windows of the building, and I need to find a better one or change the texture scale, because you can obviously see the pattern there. These much better. They almost look like dried raindrops, but it's all depending on the angle, the way the light hits it. Makes it look right, and it might be a setting that I don't have set up right. But this is just a tour of some of the things that I've been playing around with and trying to learn. I plan on doing a couple, keeping this going, and probably actually showing you me modeling in progress. Not planning on doing a tutorial site. I am not that good yet. If you want a tutorial for Blender, there's Blender Guru. There's quite a few other ones I cannot think of off the top of my head. But I have fun with it, and that's what it's all about. Even just this picture right here, which I don't even know if it'll render while I'm streaming, but I think that is a cool shot. The background is actually HDR, which is actually lighting the scene, and I think I've got the wet maps down. Definitely getting the reflection sometimes, and it might just be the lighting. It just looks like wet ink poured on the floor, but I'm thinking these are all reflection too, from light bouncing onto the tire. Not 100%, but I have fun with it. I'm hoping Liam picks up on some of this and learns some of it. But this is my Blender hobby that I do. I also dabble with some other graphic software and trying to learn video editing software. So I might just be, streaming some of my projects that I'm working on, ideas that I have, and if any of you guys who are better at this, be kind, and feel free to comment and tell me how I'm doing. Like I said, I've only messed around with it for a year, a little over a year. I hope to eventually get to the point where I can model this myself. Time is also an issue. But I think one of these days I might try and sit down and You know, like what's his name, B-Belt Dan, sit down and model a starship or something, and just kind of have y'all watch me, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Nothing too technical, but it's been fun. I've got to get going now. Got an early morning, so y'all have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.